You got the job. Still not enough. You got the relationship. Still restless. You made more money. Still checking what others have. So what's broken? Your life or your mind? Because if more doesn't fix it, then the problem isn't what you're missing. It's what you've never learned. Contentment. This will change your life today. Hello, beautiful thinkers. Welcome back to our Thinking Lab, the only channel that blends science, great ancient wisdom, stoicism, and biblical insights. Today's episode is the timeless goal. Every single person wants to achieve contentment. Stay tuned in, because I included 5 practical solutions. Now let's dive in. Chapter 1. What is contentment? Science. What your brain is doing. Contentment is the ability to stabilize your internal reward system so it's not constantly hijacked by what's next. Your brain runs on dopamine. It spikes when you anticipate something new. It drops once you get it. Then it pushes you to chase again. That loop is called hedonic adaptation. Scientific definition: contentment is the trained ability to feel satisfaction without needing continuous novelty or escalation. In simple terms, you stop outsourcing your happiness to the next upgrade. Ancient wisdom: what humans have always known. Long before neuroscience, people observed the same pattern. Desire expands faster than fulfillment. More never closes the gap. Peace comes from limiting desire, not feeding it. King Solomon experienced everything life could offer and concluded, the problem isn't lack, it's endless wanting. Ancient definition: contentment is knowing where to stop. Stoicism: what you can control. Stoics got brutally practical. Epictetus and Seneca taught, you suffer not from having too little, but from needing too much. They separated life into 2 parts, such as what you control leads to your thoughts, choices. What you don't leads to outcomes, status, external rewards. Stoic definition: contentment is wanting what you already have and not needing what you don't control. That's discipline, not passivity. Biblical scripture: what anchors the soul. Scripture goes deeper than behavior. It targets the heart. Paul the Apostle said, I have learned to be content in all circumstances. Key word: learned. And another principle: godliness with contentment is great gain. Meaning, contentment isn't tied to conditions. It's rooted in trust, identity, and perspective. Biblical definition: contentment is inner peace that is independent of external circumstances. The unified definition: put all 4 together. Contentment is the trained ability to feel enough internally, regardless of external conditions, by controlling desire instead of being controlled by it. Contentment is this: I can want more without needing more to be okay. We've been lied to. Contentment is not settling, being lazy, or losing ambition. That's the surface level nonsense. Contentment is control. It's the ability to say, I decide when enough is enough. Without it, your brain runs a loop. Want to get to feel good, briefly, to want more. That loop never ends. And if you don't control it, you become a slave to what's next. Picture this. You finally upgrade your phone. For 3 days, you feel elite. Day 10, it's normal. Day 30, you're watching reviews for the next one. Nothing changed except one thing. Your baseline moved. That's the trap. Not poverty, not lack. Endless upgrading of your expectations. Chapter 2. The science. Why you can't feel satisfied. Your brain is wired for survival, not satisfaction. It runs on something called reward prediction error, meaning you feel good when things are better than expected. You feel nothing when they match expectation. You feel bad when they fall short. So what happens? Every time you get something, your expectation rises, the reward shrinks. You chase the next hit. This is why a raise doesn't fix burnout. A new relationship doesn't fix loneliness. Success doesn't fix emptiness. Because your brain adjusts faster than your life improves. Thousands of years ago, a king wrote, "Meaningless. Everything is meaningless." That wasn't a poor man. That was King Solomon, arguably one of the richest, wisest men to ever live. He had wealth, power, women, status, and still concluded, it's not enough. That should bother you, because it means more has never been the answer. Picture this: gold everywhere, servants at command, every desire within reach. Yet at night, silence, restlessness, the same feeling people have today, scrolling on their phones in bed. Different era, same mind. Chapter 3. The Science plus Ancient Alignment. Modern science calls it hedonic adaptation. Ancient wisdom already knew it. The Stoics taught, he who is not content with little will not be content with much. That's Epictetus, a man born a slave who understood freedom better than kings. And in scripture, whoever loves money never has enough. Ecclesiastes. Different language, same truth. Your brain normalizes everything, raises expectations, keeps you chasing. This isn't a modern problem, it's a human condition. Picture a man in ancient times. He wants land, he gets land. Now he wants more land. Now he fears losing it. Now he can't sleep. That's not progress. That's upgraded anxiety. Chapter 4. The Dark Side, when lack of contentment controls you. Without contentment, you become predictable, and predictable people are easy to control. Think about it. If someone knows you always want more validation, more attention, more status, they can manipulate you with it. This is how social media hooks you, toxic relationships trap you, consumer culture owns you, because your brain says, maybe this will finally be enough. But it never is. Let's understand these 3 important stories. Story number 1, the empire that couldn't stop. There was a king who conquered almost the entire known world before the age of 33. That king was Alexander the Great. Victory after victory, city after city. At some point his generals said, this is enough. But Alexander, he wanted more land, more glory, more conquest. So he pushed his exhausted army further into India. And that's where things changed. His soldiers, loyal, battle-hardened men, refused to go any further. Not because they were weak, because they were done chasing more. Picture this: a king standing at the edge of the world, looking forward at more land to conquer. Behind him, an army that's had enough. He has everything, but can't stop. They have less, but finally understand what's enough. Lesson: greed isolates you, contentment protects you. Alexander didn't lose because of enemies. He lost because more became the mission. Story number 2. The war that started over a woman, the Trojan War, a decade-long war, thousands dead, cities burned. And what started it? One man wanted something that wasn't his. Paris of Troy took Helen, another man's wife. Desire turned into obsession. Obsession turned into war. 10 years of destruction. For one craving. Picture this: a single decision. One moment of, I want that. burning ships, falling soldiers, a city collapsing, all from one uncontrolled desire. Lesson: greed doesn't just affect you, it spreads, it multiplies, it destroys everything around it. Contentment would have prevented a war. One man's lack of control created chaos for thousands. Story number 3, the king who knew when to stop. Now let's flip it. A different kind of power. The Roman general Cincinnatus. Rome was under threat. They gave him absolute power, dictator of Rome, total control, unlimited authority. He led Rome to victory. Now here's the part that almost no one today would do. He gave the power back, walked away, returned to his farm. No empire building, no power grab. Just enough. Picture this, a man holding ultimate power in his hands, and instead of tightening his grip, he lets go. No fear, no need for more, just control. Lesson: the strongest man is not the one who takes the most. It's the one who can say, I don't need more. 3 stories, 3 outcomes, 1 king destroyed by endless expansion, 1 war started by uncontrolled desire, 1 man remembered for walking away. Same human brain, different level of control. History doesn't just remember who conquered, it remembers who couldn't stop and who didn't need to. Chapter 5. Let's check the modern parallel segment. 1. Alexander the Great to corporate greed. Success addiction. Alexander the Great conquered the world, but couldn't stop. Now look around. This same pattern is everywhere. The executive who hits 7 figures, then chases 8, builds 1 company, then burns out chasing the next, sacrifices health, family, peace, for just a little more. Picture this. You finally hit your biggest financial goal, the number you once dreamed about. For a moment, you felt relief. Then your brain says, what's next? No celebration, no stillness, just the next mountain. Reality check. You're not building anymore. You're running, just like Alexander. The danger isn't failure. It's never knowing when to stop. 2. The Trojan War leads to relationships, lust, emotional impulses. The Trojan War started with 1 desire that crossed a line. Now modern version. Affairs that destroy families. Chasing validation from someone you shouldn't. Ruining a stable relationship for temporary excitement. Picture this. You're in a committed relationship. Then someone new gives you attention. It feels exciting, different, alive. Your brain whispers, this could be better. Now, fast forward, broken trust, emotional damage. Now here's the massive regret that lasts longer than the thrill ever did. Reality check. It wasn't love. It was lack of contentment, disguised as opportunity. 1 unchecked desire. Still starts wars today, just quieter ones. 3. Cincinnatus to social media, validation, walking away. Cincinnatus had ultimate power and walked away. Now compare that to today. People refreshing likes every 10 minutes, chasing followers instead of building real lives, needing constant validation to feel relevant. Picture this. You post something online, then you check. Who liked it? Who didn't? How it's performing. Your mood rises and falls based on invisible approval. Now imagine this. You post and don't check. You live your day, unaffected. That's modern power. Not attention, freedom from needing it. 3 ancient patterns, same modern traps. Endless success chasing leads to you never arrive. Emotional impulse chasing leads to you destroy what matters. Validation chasing leads to you lose control of your state. Different forms, same root problem. You don't know what enough feels like. The battlefield changed. Swords became screens, empires became careers, wars became internal. But the real fight, still the same. Control your desire, or spend your life chasing things that were never meant to satisfy you. Chapter 6. The Shift. True Contentment. The Apostle Paul, the Apostle, said something most people ignore. I have learned to be content in whatever circumstances. Notice the word learned. Contentment is not natural. It's trained, even more powerful. I know what it is to have plenty and to have little. Meaning, contentment is not based on what you have. It's based on who you are without it. Picture two men, one in a palace, restless, one in a prison, at peace. That second man, that was Paul, which means peace is not where you are. It's what you've mastered internally. Contentment is not giving up desire. It's removing desperation from desire. Big difference. You can still want the following: growth, success, better relationships. But without contentment, it sounds like, I need this to feel okay. With contentment, it becomes, I'm already okay. This is a bonus. That shift, that's psychological freedom. Picture this. Two people walk into the same room. Person 1, I hope they like me. Person 2, I'm good either way. Same room, same people, completely different power. Contentment turns you into person 2. Chapter 7. Solution. How to build contentment. No fluff. No philosophy overload. Here are 5 simple, practical ways to build real contentment. 1. Delay the upgrade. When you want something new, wait. Example, you want a new car. Instead of buying immediately, drive your current one for 30 more days intentionally. Why it works. You break the automatic want equals act loop. You regain control. 2. Gratitude as discipline, biblical command. Scripture doesn't suggest gratitude. It commands it. Give thanks in all circumstances. Why? Because gratitude shifts focus from what's missing to what's present. Example, before sleeping, list 3 things you already have that once felt impossible. Why it works. It rewires your attention. 3. Name the illusion. When you feel the urge for more, say, this won't fix me. This is just a spike. Why it works. You separate emotion from reality. You stop believing every craving. 4. Practice. Enough daily. At least once a day, say, this is enough. Example, your meal, your home, your current progress. Why it works. You train your brain to recognize satisfaction, not just chase it. 5. Remove comparison triggers. You can't feel content while constantly comparing. Example, limit social media exposure. Unfollow people who trigger not enough feelings. Why it works. Comparison artificially raises your expectations. Remove it, and your reality feels lighter. Imagine a switch in your mind. One side, not enough. The other, enough. Most people never touch it. They just stare at what they don't have. Contentment is reaching out and flipping the switch yourself. Here's the truth. No one tells you. You don't need more to feel better. You need less dependency on more. Because the moment you master contentment, You become dangerous in the best way. Harder to manipulate, harder to impress, harder to control, and ironically, that's when everything you want starts coming to you easier. Ancient kings knew it, Stoic philosophers taught it, Scripture warned about it, and now you're living it. The truth is simple. The more you need, the weaker you become, the less you need, the more untouchable you are. Contentment isn't passive. It's not soft. It's not settling. It's freedom. Most people watching this won't answer this honestly. At what point would you finally say, this is enough? Be real. A number? A lifestyle? A relationship? Or does it keep moving? Drop your answer below. I'm reading everyone. And if this hit you, type enough in the comments. Let's see who's actually in control and who's still chasing. We've reached our closing. If this episode enlightened you, hit the subscribe button so you can stay in the loop with every new episode. Like and share to a friend or family who needs to find contentment. Now here's the part most people avoid. If nothing is ever enough, then the problem isn't out there. It's the standard inside you. So ask yourself, honestly, at what point do you allow yourself to feel satisfied? After how much money? After how much success? After how much validation, or never? Because if the answer is never, then no matter what you achieve, you will always feel behind, always chasing, always almost there. Now flip it. What if nothing in your life changes tomorrow? Same house, same income, same routine. Could you still say, this is enough? Not as a lie, not as a coping mechanism, but as a decision. Because that's the moment everything shifts. Not when your life improves, but when your need for it to improve loosens its grip on you. That's when you stop being controlled by money, by people, by outcomes. That's when you become dangerous in a different way. Calm, grounded, unshaken. And here's the irony no one tells you. The moment you no longer need more, you start making better decisions. You stop chasing the wrong things. You stop forcing what isn't right. You stop saying yes out of fear. And suddenly, life starts working with you. Not because you chased harder, but because you finally stopped chasing blindly. So here's the real question. Are you building a life, or are you just upgrading your cravings? Because one leads to peace, the other never ends. Thank you for stopping by at our Thinking Lab, where we just don't glow from the inside and out, but we grow beautifully. Until next time, stay grounded, stay healthy, stay powerful, stay beautiful.